Fixed that. It was all good. Then a second customer emailed me about the same thing, and I thought, oh no, I've really mucked this promo up. I've missed this opportunity. And that's what made me think, I wonder how many other people have added other things to their cart and then used the coupon code but didn't see a gift with purchase suddenly appear, so abandoned their cart and didn't bother to shop. So I was bitterly disappointed in myself. Hey, welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 127, and it's called Keeping Your Shopify Store Promos and Klaviyo Emails Skimmable, which means, clear, concise communication. I don't think skimmable is a word, as in like you skim something when you're reading an email or you're reading a book and you skim a piece of writing, but skimmable makes sense to me for the title. So that's what I'm going with, even though Microsoft Word thinks that word doesn't exist. But I'm going to go with that. I like it. It makes sense, and it perfectly describes this episode today. So thanks for joining me for this episode 127. And I want us to think a little bit about today our emails and our promotions that we use in our e-commerce stores, and the way we communicate those offers or those promotions, both I guess on product pages and maybe on lives or videos you do, and then also in emails, and how we write them, how we structure them, and how we keep them skimmable, how we keep them so clear and so concise that someone can just skim it to understand what's going on, or to understand what the offer is, and to decide whether it's something they want to proceed with or something that they don't want to proceed with. I have an example I'm going to share with you at the end of this episode of how I have not done this recently, and the fallout from it. So how come I know I haven't done well at it? Because of a couple of emails I had from customers who were confused about the offer, which was a red flag to me, obviously, that I obviously did not take my own advice and did not keep the offer clear and concise. I didn't keep the offer, and I didn't keep the email skimmable, which is why I then had a couple of potential customers reach out. And I will tell you from the top of this episode, my biggest regret about having sort of mucked this up for myself recently with an offer is that I sort of lay awake last night thinking, I wonder how many other potential customers added products to their cart. And then because my offer wasn't skimmable, wasn't clear and like obvious, they abandon their cart, and then they're not going to email me to ask, because not many people do. So if one customer emails you to ask about an offer, to clarify something, you can probably bet there are others who thought the same thing but didn't take the time to send you an email, which is exactly what I thought. I was like, oh no, there's two customers who emailed me to query it. That means there were other customers who just didn't bother and just moved on with their life. So it was a missed opportunity on my part for my own e-commerce store, which is why I'm going to share it with you today. And I hope this email is helpful for you in crafting your next offer, but more importantly, sort of than crafting the actual offer, is how you communicate it and how you structure your emails when you're doing your email marketing around your offer or your promotion or what you have coming up. So let's be honest. I've got my notes here I'm going to refer to often to make sure I stay on track. But let's be honest. Put your consumer or your customer hat on yourself and how you treat your own inbox. What do you do with your own inbox? I know when I open my personal email every day, which is the one I'm pretty guarded with what I give out. Like I don't like to have lots of things subscribed to that email. I probably delete off the bat before, just straight from the subject heading, I would delete 90% of the emails straight out of that inbox every day. And then a couple I know I need to do something about, or a couple that really grab my attention, are ones I will save for later, or I will open and read more. And that's just me. And I'm sure I'm not unusual in that sense. I'm sure many of you would say something similar, if not even more. One of my old bosses in one of my previous jobs in my corporate life just put everything from their inbox every day into deleted and then pulled back the important things. So that's even more severe than what I do every day with my inbox. But what do you do with your inbox? Because I imagine, or I could bet, that you probably act differently when you write an email to your customers than when you yourself open your own email, and how you treat that inbox yourself. So I would just encourage you, and encourage myself too, as I'm saying it, to keep a bit more mindful of keeping our customer hat on when we do write emails, and what we like to see in an email, how we like to see an offer presented, how we like it to be worded and crafted and communicated. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. You always want to be this is the marketing side of it in me sort of letting you know this now, or speaking about it. You always want to be giving your potential customers or potential clients a reason to keep saying yes. What is it that you present to them in whatever medium you do, video, images, email, podcast, a live, in person, a letter in the mail, whatever medium you use to communicate? How can you communicate that, or what do you communicate in such a way that continues to reaffirm yes from them? Yes, yes, yes. That moves them closer to a decision to purchase. It could be that it becomes clear. It could be, for instance, you have an ad running on Meta. The ad should look like the landing page. They need to land somewhere that's familiar, that reassures them they're in the right place, that keeps them going to the next step, which is now to read the landing page. And then the next step, which is to submit their email into your landing page and to join your email flow. Then the next email that they receive needs to look like the landing page and the ad, to continually reinforce the message that you are communicating, so it's clear and concise, but also just keeps them on that journey of reassuringly like, yes, yes, I want to do this. This is good. I'm in the right place. Nothing is stopping me. There's no barrier to me continuing this relationship towards a purchase of whatever that description is. That's a bit of a side. That's not part of what I'm sort of talking about as far as emails necessarily go, but it just occurred to me that's kind of what I try and remind myself of, especially if I'm running ads, because when you pay money for traffic, you want to get the most of those dollars. And so I want to be having profiles and users and social media users land somewhere that continues to affirm and reaffirm to them the yes in them, like, yep, keep going, yep, keep going, yep, keep going. So let me have a quick look at my notes here. Let's go with my first tip, which is in your emails, keep it simple. Your call to action needs to be simple. So like I said, think about your own inbox habits when you have an inbox full of lots of emails, how many you just delete straight away and how many you decide to then open and read is probably based on the subject line or maybe a preview you get of the email or even just who it's from. If it's someone you like to hear from, those emails for me, I'm more inclined to open and read than I am to chuck into the junk folder. So to sort of stop people from just clicking delete, let's keep our call to actions simple. Try and have one main offer in your email and not more than one. If you do have more than one, try and make sure they connect in some way. But like I said before, to try and keep a cohesive kind of journey that you want to take a customer on or a client on, you want the subject line and the headline and the copy and the buttons and the call to action, the story and everything to like all make sense. They all connect. You're better on, I genuinely believe if you have two offers of some description, say you've got a new collection that's released and you've got a new collection that's landed, but then also you want to do a promo for Mother's Day. We're recording this episode like at the very, very end of April. Say you want to do a promo for Mother's Day as well. Do two separate emails. I wouldn't put them in the same email. I have done before. I'm like, this is talking to myself as well, but the metrics suffer when I do. I know that I don't get as good open rate. I don't get as good click rate, and I get less revenue on an email that has two subject or two topics included in the email and two like not conflicting offers, just two offers. It's causing my customers to make a decision they don't want to make. They want to, if they're going to open the email, they want to be guided through the process. One offer, one subject line, one button, not one button. You could have lots of buttons, but the same thing. They take you to the same place for the same reason, asking your customer to do the same thing, which might be shop now or add to cart or browse here or choose your favorite or anything like that. So try and keep your call to action simple. And like I said, you'd be better off doing two separate emails staggered over a few days if you have two different things you want to be talking about rather than putting those two things inside the one email. If you do a newsletter, that's like a different topic. That is a different discussion. I don't do newsletters. My clients that I work with as well, I haven't had a client yet who does newsletters, which is more like a chatty, ongoing, check-in relationship, meaty email. You want to be sitting and setting time aside to read and digest with a cup of tea or a notebook. Like, it's a different topic. It's a really different type of communicating in a newsletter versus like your just weekly emails. If you're thinking about, I'm thinking about your weekly campaigns you should be sending. And if they're short and sweet, that's perfect. And if they have one topic and the subject line, the heading, the copy, the button all talks about the same thing, even better. That's my first point, keeping the call to action simple. My other point is probably my favorite, and I actually added this point in because of changes that I know Apple made some time ago around their inbox and previews and kind of what it shows you and what it drops below the fold, what's above the fold, all the sort of changes that our email service providers make. If you obviously send emails often like I do, it's good to keep on top of kind of what Gmail is doing and Apple is doing and Outlook and all that sort of thing. But to keep your most important info above the fold. Placement's really important in an email, and I play around with placement a lot deliberately. So because I send to different segments when I do my weekly emails for myself and my clients, I send to different segments that I've built, and each segment will get a different looking email. It's still the same topic, it's still the same offer, it's still the same theme, but the placement is different. I rearrange the content in the email to feature something different at the top, which is what they'll see in a preview. When you look at your own inbox, if you have a preview window, a preview pane, whatever that shows you something that's like near the top of your email, what is it that your customers are seeing? Sometimes it's good to test. Are they going to see an image at the top? Will they see a big heading, like a big offer graphic type text? Will they see just plain text? Will they see their name? Will they see a GIF or a video? Will they see a product? What are they going to see appear near the top of their email? I really enjoy playing around with the top of emails. I do it, like I said, with myself, with my own e-commerce store and my clients, depending on where the segment is going and to who it's going to engage a different group of people. So if you send an email on Monday to a certain group and your email's laid out and you have like an image at the top, then a couple of days later, maybe you could try sending the same email to your unengaged, for people that never opened that first email or never clicked the first email, and swap it out. Put some copy at the top. Put a testimonial at the top, put a button at the top, put a product at the top, just to visually look different in a preview window so that different information is above the fold. You want to see a different type of information above the fold. That's as easy as moving content blocks around. Like, you don't even need to recreate anything here. You're just appealing to people who looked at the first email and maybe didn't skim to the bottom, because I rarely skim to the bottom of an email myself, unless I'm looking for the unsubscribe button. So let's assume we're talking to people who aren't looking for the unsubscribe button. Try moving the content blocks around and just be mindful of keeping a call to action or a button or a product or an image, something attention grabbing and something that's an easy, this is the next step I want you to take. Like, you've opened my email now, I want you to do this next. Keep it near the top so it appears above the fold. That's, generally probably my favorite thing, I guess, because I like to move that around. That's an easy thing to do. It's not hard to sort of implement that already based off of the emails you probably already send. Number 3 is having a low commitment call to action. So instead of shop now or buy now or hurry up and get this, try something low commitment. You're encouraging them to get back to your website. Remember, the bigger picture emails in general, the bigger picture of email marketing that we all need to keep in mind. The whole reason we email to begin with is really to encourage users to get to our website more often. Like, we want people on our website. So don't give them the whole story in the email. Don't give them the punchline. Don't give them all the details. Give them a reason to head to your website. And so you could try a smaller call to action, like learn more, like I suggested before. So learn more, see more options, choose your color, browse our range, check out what's new. Those sorts of call to actions are a softer call to action. If someone just sees shop now or buy now, if I'm not ready to buy now, I will be less inclined to click on that than something like choose your favorite color or check out our colors or see what's new. So try a softer call to action in your emails as well. You may find you get a higher click-through rate on those than a more harsh black and white shop now call to action. And it's just encouraging a user to take that little next step, is holding their hand. This is what I want you to do next. And it's simple. It's not hard. Don't be scared. Just go to my website. That's where you want them to be. And remember, of course, then if they go to your website, they get caught back up into your Klaviyo engaged segment. So if this was an email you sent to an unengaged segment, a softer call to action makes even more sense, because now those people who did click through to your website, who did click the email from the softer call to action, have now been caught up and kind of graduated, been promoted into your engaged segment for the next time you send an email. So that's a win-win. My next point is like mobile first design. I'm terrible at this. I've gotten a lot better the last few months, is toggling between the desktop and the mobile view. I'm getting much better. I do it now probably 90% of the time, where I will toggle the view to make sure it looks good on mobile and it looks good on desktop. But for probably most of last year, I feel like I barely looked at the mobile view of an email, and I just looked at desktop. So if you are inclined to just build an email, not think too much about it and send it, I encourage you to stop and look at the mobile view as well, just to make sure it still looks clean and seamless and sensible on mobile, because you'll very quickly see on mobile if there's too much text. When you click to the mobile preview in Klaviyo, when you're building your email, you will quickly sort of be able to ascertain for yourself. You'll be like, wow, that's a lot of text. That's too much. I need to get rid of some. Or it'll just look perfectly balanced and really sensible. A very clear journey you're asking your customers to go through. Just enough info, not too much info. So if you don't already, make sure you toggle to your mobile view as well. The last point I want to share with you is to use personalization. And I'm sure most of you do this now anyway, because personalization in emails has been around for a long time. So use some of the merge fields, use some of the personalization fields that Klaviyo has, use people's first name, use their city even, use some different personalization fields and include those in some of your emails as well. I certainly know if I see my name appear in a subject heading on an email, I'm more inclined to just stop before I quickly delete. If I see "Hi Rachel" in an email, it does make me stop for a minute before I just go ahead and delete it if I decide I don't want to read it. So use personalization features in your emails if you don't already. Plus, my favorite personalization thing to do, particularly in e-commerce, is to use the dynamic product catalog. So using the products, drag a product into your content, into your email, but make it dynamic. In other words, the product that appears for you is different than a product that will appear for me. If you use a dynamic product, which you'll need to build the product feed. So when you drag a product into Klaviyo and you have to select the product feed, you can build it just there in Klaviyo. It takes seconds. You can build a product feed that's based on what that user looked at on your website, and then it can default back to something else. So it could be like what I looked at on someone's website in 30 days. And if I haven't been on the person's website in 30 days, I'll just see what's new, or I'll just see what's best selling. I'll just see what people like a lot. I'll just see the most popular products. So I love to use dynamic products. I use them honestly almost every week. Nearly one email I send every week, sometimes one every 10 days, perhaps I'll say, but I use it all the time, is to drag in products, but then make those products dynamic so that every user that email goes out to will see a different product based on their behavior. And this product block, if you put that product block in, chuck it near the top. Again, thinking about what people see in their preview window before they have to scroll too far. If you're going to feature dynamic content in your email that's personalized to the user, then put it near the top. That's your best value piece of sort of content inside that one email. When it's personalized, when it's dynamic, when it's customized to that exact user, you want that at the top. Like drag that to near the top every time if you're going to use those sorts of fields. I love doing that. I always use the dynamic products. That's one of my favorite things to do for sure. So remember, we're keeping things skimmable. So you want to be clear in your communication with your emails and your offers, and you want them to be skimmable so that you continue to reassure the user, yes, I want to shop. Yes, I want to add to cart. Yes, I want to go to their website. This is very seamless, very trustworthy. I'm feeling held by the hand and reassured all along the way till I put my credit card details in and shop. And before I go, I'm going to share with you just quickly a story of how this went wrong for me. not long ago, which is I did a promotion in my e-commerce store. I did a gift with purchase. And if you've listened to I should have gone to check my episode number, but I did my big promotional calendar. It's on my wall. I think actually I did a few episodes. Now I'm thinking about it. I think I did a few episodes all about the promotions I'm running for 2025 to get more traffic to my website. And one of those promotions is I'm doing a gift with purchase twice this year. 2 times in 2025, I would do a gift with purchase. And April was the first month I was going to do a gift with purchase. But I didn't communicate it very well. I probably need to change up the offer for next time. It was too clunky. I didn't think it was that clunky, but I think people's habits have changed since I last did a gift with purchase. So I think people's shopping habits have changed. The way they treat their inboxes has changed. The way they skim their emails and the offers has changed, so that my offer was not easily digestible. And that's why I had a couple of customers email me to say, hey, I really wanted the gift with purchase, but I couldn't get it. It wouldn't add it to my cart. So I set up a gift with purchase. There's 2 products and you had to add them both to your cart to get the free one. So the gift with purchase was its own product and you just had to spend $100 on whatever else. And then the gift with purchase that was in your cart, you use a coupon code to make it free. So spend $100, whatever you like, but then also make sure you add the gift with purchase to your cart, because then when you use the coupon code, the gift with purchase becomes free. I thought that it does make sense. I'm not saying it's terribly confusing, but obviously the way I explained it and the skimmable nature of the promo was confusing. It wasn't easily skimmable. So 2 customers emailed me to say, hey, I used the coupon code and I didn't get the gift with purchase. And when I got the first email, I went, oh, of course. Okay, sure. I see what they've done. They've added $100 worth of product to their cart and then added the coupon code gift with purchase. And then the gift didn't appear, like the gift didn't suddenly appear in their cart, because they needed to have added it to their cart first with the price attached and then use the coupon code to see it become a zeroed out amount. So I fixed that. It was all good. Then a second customer emailed me about the same thing. And I thought, oh no, I've really mucked this promo up. I've missed this opportunity. And that's what made me think, I wonder how many other people have added other things to their cart and then used the coupon code but didn't see a gift with purchase suddenly appear. So abandoned their cart and didn't bother to shop. So I was bitterly disappointed in myself. I guess maybe that I didn't go back and fix that when the first customer mentioned it, but also I guess I just need to be more mindful next time for a gift with purchase, and you do as well. This is not unique to me, I'm sure, is that your offer needs to be like skimmable. So I guess in hindsight, I probably could have just done a straight percentage sale off my website, because it was a celebration for my birthday. It was a birthday of my website. It was a birthday of my business. That's what the gift with purchase was for. So maybe later in the year, I'll scrap the gift with purchase idea altogether and do something else that sort of happens more automatically. So then people don't need to kind of go through those couple of steps. So then when people skimmed the email, it must have been too confusing that all they read was gift with purchase coupon code. So they went to the website, added $100 of product to their cart, used the coupon code, and then the gift didn't apply. So I was a bit disappointed with that, and it obviously was not skimmable enough. Like I said, it's not a complicated offer, but if you are putting together an offer for your own customers, please keep it like even more simple than simple. I would even suggest don't do stacked discounts. Don't do spend $20, get 5% off, spend $50, get 20% off. Like, I just don't do anything like that. Scrap all of that stuff, particularly if you think about your own customer behavior, what you do with your own inbox, your own emails, and how you behave. Just make it skimmable. So, yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that encourages you in your own emails, your own offer creation, to really strip it back and keep your customer sort of focused hat on, and try to absorb like I was trying to absorb and take in how much the landscape has changed in the last several months or the last year around emails and customers' behavior with emails and offers and how they should be presented, and the minimal kind of skimmable easy to digest way they should be presented to maximize the results you're going to get without too much friction. So thanks for hanging out with me today at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. I always love to hang out with you with my podcast episode. Send me an email through the website if you've got any questions. I always love to hear from you, or go ahead and book yourself a discovery call. You can put it straight in my calendar if you want to chat about your own business and how I can help support you with your email marketing or your Meta Facebook ads. I'll see you next time. Keep learning.